Good evening, everyone. I'm Tom Fagan. Thank you for joining us tonight on PEG TV for the election night coverage. We'll be reading results throughout the evening and have a few guests on that are local candidates. We already have some results who have come in from Ward 2, the Christ the King ward here in the city. For school commissioner, it's a 3-year term, and Herbert Ogden with 526 votes, Jen Rondioni, 480 votes, and Courtney Collins Wickham with 620 votes. There were 76 write-ins for school commissioner for the 2-year term, and also 76 write-ins for the 1-year term. Clerk of elections, that's a 2-year term. Beth Kiernan, 857 votes. First inspector of elections, Thomas Carpenter, 827 votes. Second inspector of elections, Cynthia Sinos, 791 votes. And third inspector of elections, Becky Bogus, 785 votes. The budget articles so far, article number 1, which is the city budget, 615 yeses, 416 noes. Article 2, which is the school budget in the city, 542 votes yes, 529 no. Social service articles, Article 1, 693 votes yes, 370 no. Article 2, yes, 773 with 291 no. Article 3, 773 yes. Article and 295 noes. Article 4, 812 yeses with 252 noes. Article 5, 684 yeses with 373 noes. Article 6, 620 yeses with 439 noes. Article 7, 690 yeses with 371 noes. Article 8, 723 yeses with 333 noes. Article 9, 619 yeses with 431 noes. Article 10, 691 yeses, 361 noes. Article 11, 679 yeses and 382 noes. Article 12, 717 yeses, 347 noes. Article 13, 651 yeses with 407 noes. Article 14, 583 yeses, 465 noes. And the petition articles, Article 1, 547 yeses with 499 noes. Keep in mind, please, all evening that these are unofficial results, and the official results will be tallied this evening, and we will have the final results tomorrow for you. But these are the most up-to-date information that we currently have. We've also just received the Calvary Bible Church Ward 4 results. For alderman, we have Alex Adams with 314 votes, Rick Baker, 259 votes, Barry Beauchamp, 297 votes, Marlo Beer, 63 votes, John P. Chaffee Jr. with 225 votes, Sharon Davis, 414 votes, Thomas DePoy, 300 votes, Kurt J. Esposito, 117 votes, Peter Franzoni, 387 votes, Alexandria Perone, 280 votes, Anna Taddeo, 383 votes, Michael Talbot, 419 votes, and Matthew Wickham, 264 votes. For school commissioner, we again have Herbert Ogden, 393 votes, Jen Rondioni, 357 votes, Courtney Collins Wickham, 459 votes, with 68 write-ins. For school commissioner, the 2-year term, we have 89 write-in votes. School commissioner 1-year term, 74 write-in votes. And those will not be available until tomorrow. Clerk of elections, which is a 2-year term, we have Steve Reynolds with 604 votes and 4 write-ins. The first inspector of elections, a 2-year term, Judith A. Delfa, 656 votes with 4 write-ins. Angela Rivers, 609 votes with 2 write-ins. And third inspector of elections, a 2-year term, 83 write-in votes. Back to the budget articles, with the first article on budgets being for the city, 512 yeses with 324 noes. Article 2 for the school board, 447 votes yes and 420 votes no. The social service articles, Article 1, 578 yeses to 292 noes. Article 2, 618 yeses to 241 noes. 623 yeses for Article 3 and 243 for no. Article 4, 645 yeses with 228 noes. Article 5, 656 yeses to 296 noes. Article 6, 514 yeses to 350 noes. Article 7, 567 yeses to 294 noes. Article 8, 591 yeses to 271 noes. Article 9, 509 yeses to 343 noes. Article 10, 560 yeses to 299 noes. Article 11, 552 yeses to 306 noes. Article 12, 588 yeses to 274 noes. Article 13, 520 yeses to 335 noes. Article 14, 457 yeses to 390 noes. And then finally, the petition article, Article 1, 432 yeses to 417 noes. Again, these are the results from Ward 4 up to this point. And so we have updates on both Ward 2 and Ward 4 here in the city. Again, I thank you for joining us for the election coverage this evening. And we have Alderman Alex Adams joining us this evening. Hi, Alex. Thanks for being on.
Tom, how are you?
Doing well. Can you talk a little bit about how this campaigning season went for you?
It's been a long one. Last year, I didn't give it my all. I thought that I would rest on my laurels and let the voters vote based on what I had done in the previous 2 years, and that wasn't enough. So this year I went all out. I mean, sign waving. Stamps are expensive at 78 cents a pop now, so I didn't get a letter out, but I did put it on Front Porch Forum, and a lot of Facebook posts, a lot of, some interesting sign waving. Got me and some buddies out there with some shirts off and just trying to make an impact.
Were you able to take some time today to stop by some of the polls?
Yeah, absolutely. I stopped at all 4 wards, and it was slow in the morning. Boy, it was a bitter morning. It was a little bit cold to start the day out, and then traffic seemed to pick up throughout the day, and it seemed like a decent voter turnout, but we never know because a lot of people have converted to doing absentee ballots or early voting.
Sure. Yeah, the weather today didn't really help too much with voting. Tend to get worse and worse throughout the day. What does this round of elections mean for the city and really the county as a whole?
Yeah, I think it means a lot. People tend to get hyped up about national elections, but local elections are really where it's at. It's really where the impact on the local citizens' lives comes from. And I think Rutland is on the precipice of doing a lot of great things. I think we have a lot of big opportunities in front of us with the TIF district, and we're applying for the Act 250 exemption. And I think we just need to do a lot of things right going forward. So it's important that we have the right people in the positions to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot more focus at the state level on the Rutland County area and the city as a whole, and I think that kind of showing that there is some great things happening here in Rutland, and I think there's more to come.
Yeah, absolutely.
But aside from being an alderman, I know that you've started the campaign to bring the fireworks back for the 4th of July.
Yeah, it's been a group effort. It's been a group effort. Judy Delfo, Nancy Greenwood, Jess Barlow, and Dave Morgan and I have started a nonprofit, Fireworks Over Rutland. And the chamber used to hold the fireworks, and they stopped doing it years ago, I think because of rising costs. And then it went to the Paramount Theater, but then during COVID, there was sort of a bit of a lapse there, and rising costs still. So America's 250th anniversary has the cost at $30,000, and it's just been a really special thing to see the community really step up and donate. I mean, donations from $25 to $1,000 to $5,000, and in future years, we're going to keep the momentum rolling. We're going to keep the nonprofit going and continue to have fireworks, because as I was a history major back in school, and I really value American history and the things that define us as Americans. So we'll keep it going, but this year was really special because it was really a grassroots campaign. It was a lot of people pitching in what they could to make it happen, and I think everybody's going to be able to step out of their front door and look up at the sky and be like, I did that, you know. So it's going to be a really cool thing.
That's awesome. Yeah, it sounds like a real community effort, and really coming together for kind of just the city and as a whole. That's awesome. Where does the fundraising stand up to this point?
Yeah, we're at about, from the $30,000 goal, we had to raise $15,000 by the end of the year. We hit that target, which was massive. Massive thanks. I'll take this opportunity to thank everybody in the community who pitched in, and I know some people dug really deep to make this happen. Fireworks are important to people. It's not just, I mean, it's not about putting fireworks in the sky. It's about what happens on the ground below it. And we as a community have had so much divisiveness. I mean, the national political scene has been so divisive over the past 4 to 8 to 12 to 16 years. So it's been really incredible to be able to be part of something that brings everybody together, that everybody can agree on. You know, we're all Americans, we're all unified, and that's just sort of allowed us to celebrate our unity. And we are currently at $7,300 to go. The city of Rutland has promised $1,000, and the town has suggested that they may pitch in $1,000. The fairgrounds pitched in $1,000, and the city wanted to match that. So the city jumped in. Former Mayor Mike Dunges said that he would do that, and actually Monday night I was kind of like, I love that, but where's the money? So during our board of alderman meeting, I was looking for the cash, but I've actually gotten some correspondence since then on how I can get that and make that happen. So it's been going really well, and navigating that road is different too. I mean, I've never started a nonprofit before, so I've been using different resources in the community to figure out what I need to do for filing for nonprofit, and everybody's been pitching in their part, right? I mean, you got different bars in the area, CJ's and Center Street Alley have been donating their empties. Jess Barlow, who's on our team, has been making her rounds, picking up cans and bringing them to Olivia's Market to cash them in. And it's been a really special experience for me because I grew up in Rutland, and to be able to see the different names flash up for the donations and to see the different people who want to get involved again, it's been a really amazing thing, because Rutland undeniably has gone through a bit of a depression in recent years, and it's really amazing to see that the people really want to see us flourish again. They really want to see who we can be, and they really want to see us come back. So to be raising money that way is just incredible. So through the bottle returns and all of the other things, and people offering services. Staples has offered, even the little return labels. We've put in orders for Staples to put in return labels for our mailers, and Staples says, no, this is on the house. So it's just everybody seems to be really on board with this, and it's just an amazing thing.
Yeah, and no better time than the 250th anniversary to have something like this happen, and everyone could come together for just an exciting, fun event, family-friendly event. So that's amazing. Yeah, thank you for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And with growing up here in Rutland, how have you've kind of touched on it a little bit, how have you seen things kind of change, over the past, and maybe as your time more so as an alderman?
My time as an alderman, I took my seat in 2023, which is sort of the tail end of COVID, which we were really seeing the tail end of a really strong depression. Emotionally, physically, the whole country was hit by the drug epidemic, the opioid epidemic, and just that's sort of why I got as involved as I did. I had moved away. I had my own personal issues in the past, and in 2010 moved away to address those issues. Came back in 2014 and really had my heart set on making a difference and being somebody who could be a caveat for change. And we've been pushing and working and doing so many things, and there's so many good people in this community who have been starting so many initiatives, and finally, we're starting to see a lot of results from that. So I think from 2023 or so on, you've started to see storefronts fill back up, and there's still the concerns. And I think the citizens of Rutland have a high expectation, right? Like Walmart's leaving downtown, and once the announcement comes out, everybody's like, well, what are we gonna do? What's gonna go in the place of Walmart? And it's absolutely something that the city needs to look at and look at projects, but I think we need to give a little leniency to make those things come to fruition.
Sure, absolutely. Well, I want to thank you for coming on air and talking a little bit about the campaign and what this election really means. I really appreciate it, and good luck to you, and thank you for stepping up. We need more folks to step up, and it can't be easy to be running a campaign and all the other activities. So thank you for doing that, and appreciate you being here tonight.
I appreciate it, pal. I think you got some more results there.
Sure do. We're going to take a brief break, and then we'll have some results for you when we come back. Welcome back, everybody. We just received the results from the Godnick Center, Ward 1 here in the city. For the alderman candidates, we have Alex Adams with 246 votes, Rick Baker with 201 votes, Barry Beauchamp with 262 votes, Marlo Beer with 26 votes, John P. Chaffee Jr. with 161 votes, Sharon Davis with 308 votes, Thomas DePoy, 198 votes, Kurt J. Esposito with 105 votes, Peter Franzoni, 334 votes, Alexandria Perone, 226 votes, Anna Taddeo, 355 votes, Michael Talbot, 366 votes, and Matthew Whitcomb with 254 votes. With 15 write-in votes. For school commissioner, the 3-year term, Herbert Ogden, 330 votes, Jen Ronandino, 307 votes, Courtney Collins Whitcomb, 419 votes, and 59 write-in votes. For school commissioner, the 2-year term, 55 votes. School commissioner, 1-year term, 51 votes, both for write-in candidates. Clerk of elections, 2-year term, Barbara Spalding, 523 votes. Gary Spalding for first inspector of elections, 494 votes. Second inspector of elections, 2-year term, 33 write-ins. Third inspector of elections, 25 votes write-in. For the budget articles, the first budget article, the city budget, 470 yeses to 218 noes. Article 2, the school budget, 409 yeses to 305 noes. And I'm going to give a little bit more of a background on the other articles. Article 1, the social services article, allocates $10,000 or above to the charter requirements for a 1-year period to Brock. Article 1 has 499 yeses to 205 noes. Article 2 would be supporting the ARC Rutland area serving citizens with developmental disabilities, 517 yeses to 184 noes. Article 3, support for the Vermont Center for Independent Living, 512 yeses to 195 noes. Article 4, for support of the Rutland Area Visiting Nurses Association and Hospice, 530 yeses to 177 noes. Article 5, for the Retired Senior Volunteer Program and Southwest Vermont Council, 484 yeses to 210 noes. Article 6, support for the bus, Mobile Valley Regional Transit, 442 yeses to 260 noes. Article 7, for support for Rutland Mental Health Services, 487 yeses to 223 noes. Article 8, the New Story Center, formerly the Rutland County Women's Network and Shelter, 494 yeses to 207 noes. Article 9, support for Park Street Healthcare, Inc., Rutland County Health Partners, 441 yeses to 255 noes. Article 10, support for Vermont Adult Learning Center, 481 yeses to 225 noes. Article 11, support for the Rutland Unit of Boys and Girls Club, 478 yeses to 220 noes. Article 12, for the Regional Ambulance Service, 499 yeses to 196 noes. Article 13, for the Mentor Connection, 454 yeses to 243 noes. Article 14, for support for Wonder Feet's Kid Museum, 447 yeses to 250 noes. And the petition articles for support of the Rutland Neighbors, Inc., 370 yeses to 320 noes. Please keep in mind again that these are unofficial results at this time. And that is the third of the 4 wards that have come in now. We've read results for Ward 1, Ward 2, and Ward 4. And we will recap all these results shortly. So now we have Senator Cheryl Hooker with us.
Former senator.
Former senator, yes.
Rich asked me what my title should be, and I said former politician.
Former politician. Well,
All right, Tom.
I'm wonderful. How are you doing this
Good,
evening?
good. And I'm listening to the results that you're reading, and I'm thinking the voters in Rutland are really generous people. They understand the needs that are there on the ballot, and they've certainly come out to show their support.
Yeah, absolutely. And even with this weather we had today that made some challenging conditions.
Yeah, for sure,
they were coming
for
out in
sure.
force.
And
Just
I know
wonderful.
it's hard for everybody, but I think people realize that the services are important, and they are willing to support them in any way that they can.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think it creates a welcoming community as a whole, too.
It does
We're able
indeed,
to do
it does
that.
indeed.
Well, I think you offer a very unique perspective on the elections, just from your experience. And how does this election maybe differ a little bit?
Well, let me count the ways. Certainly, this is an unusual election in that we have a write-in for mayor. And I know that the results of that everybody's waiting for probably won't come right away because both votes have to be tallied and everybody has to be able to read the write-ins that are on the
Yes.
ballot. But that makes an interesting scenario. We don't have the normal sort of camps set up, and we didn't have the time to get to know all of the candidates. But it'll be interesting to see how this turns out and what percentage the winning candidate wins by. So that's going to be really interesting in the next day or so.
Absolutely, yes. And I will remind folks that we will not have those results. Likely, we will not have those results by tonight. Hopefully, we have maybe some idea, but it doesn't look like we're going to be able to have that. But we want to make sure all the votes are counted because this is important.
Absolutely, absolutely. But as far as the Board of Aldermen go, another situation where, 13 candidates for 5 seats. I mean, that's going to be another interesting outcome. So I'm glad to see that, we have the numbers for that, those races. And once they're totaled, and people can go to bed knowing who's going to be on the Board of Aldermen.
Yes, it is exciting. And it's also wonderful to have that many choices because I think it really shows that the community is stepping up and those folks that are running.
Yeah. And I'm sitting here as, kind of a former politician, and really thankful that people are stepping up. Although there were some blanks, and we could use more, need I say, younger people, but not even younger people. I just heard the thing before I came over. There was something on TV, on the news, about retirees going back into the workforce. And so if there are retirees out there who are interested in serving the community, certainly running for office is one way you can do it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think
So this has been fun. And this is your first time, Tom.
it is.
Are you
yes.
having fun yet?
I am having fun, yes. It's a little different, but I'm
right.
enjoying it, and it's really exciting to be a part of this and kind of be a part of the local politics, because I think this is where we really can make change, and I think
Yeah.
every vote truly does matter, especially in these local elections.
And I just have to give a shout out to all the candidates and their supporters who stood out in the cold today. It's a labor of love when you're doing that on cold March days, and you never know what the weather's going to be like in March.
No.
Or November, for that matter.
Yeah, that's a good point, yes.
Yeah, anyway.
Keeps us on our toes here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I know that you have other guests who are here, and thanks for doing this. Thanks for bringing us the information, and best of luck to all the candidates.
Thank you so much, and thank you for being here with us this evening. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. We'll see you later.
As we wait for some more results, we're going to take another brief break. Welcome back, everyone. I have with me Alderman Talbot and Alderman Taddeo joining us tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here, both of you.
My pleasure. Thanks for the invitation.
Thanks for
Absolutely.
having us.
Yes, absolutely. So I've kind of asked a lot of the candidates who've been here tonight. What is this election? How is this election a little different than the previous elections?
I mean, obviously, there's a write-in mayoral campaign
Sure.
in a non-mayoral year, and that's taken up a lot of the sunlight, right? Like, that's what people have been focused on, and maybe less so on the Board of Aldermen race. But it's a competitive Board of Aldermen race, right, where there were a lot of candidates for 5 seats.
Yeah, for me, the biggest difference, this is the third time that I've run for this seat, and in the other elections that I ran in, there were only 7 or 8 candidates running for those seats, and so to have 13 candidates running for 5 seats, it was hard to tell what was going to happen here tonight. So, but I do want to especially thank all of the voters and all of the people that came out tonight that participated. It matters. Your vote, every single vote makes a difference. And so thank you to the voters that showed up at the polls today. Thanks to the people that absentee voted. Every vote matters. So thank you.
Absolutely, and thank you both for stepping up and continuing to step up for office. It's important, and it says a lot, I think, when there are 13 options for folks to choose from, that people truly care about this community and do want it to be better. Yeah. We have had some of the results come in. It's looking likely that the two of you will be returning to the Board of Aldermen. So while it's unofficial.
Unofficially, I've heard that Alderwoman Taddeo and I have been reelected, as have Alderwoman Davis and Alderman Adams, and that Peter Franzoni should be joining the board as an alderman as well. I think those results, if those turn out to be the official results, are really reflective of effort, right? Like, nobody works harder than Alderwoman Davis, right? She's been given decades of her life to serving the city. She shows up to every meeting. And in my 6 years on the board, I've tried to match that energy, showing up, putting in the time, creating relationships, getting to know people, getting to know how things work, how they've worked historically, doing research about how we can do better, and delivering results. And I think all of those people have done the same. Alderwoman Taddeo's done the same. Alderman Adams ran a tremendous campaign and showed that it's very important to him to be on the board. And then Peter Franzoni, right? He worked hard. He's been passionate. He's been speaking outside of the rail for the past year, long before he ever thought about running for the board. And I think today's results reflect hard work and effort.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I also think that the constituents, have been expressing what they want, and the people that are responding to what the constituents' needs are going to secure a lot of votes. And so I think, in my case, things that have mattered to me are speaking out about due process and speaking out about ICE and immigration activities. And so I think that the voters reflected that tonight, that they do care about speaking up for our immigrant neighbors, and they do care whether ICE follows the law if and when they were to be in this city. So I do just also want to say, thank you to everybody that shows up to participate in the political process, the people that come to the Board of Aldermen meetings and speak outside the rail. It matters. Your voice really matters. It matters to me as an elected official. And I really do look forward to serving the people again if the results turn out to be accurate. I hope to be your voice on the board, and that's really what matters to me. So, yeah, thank you all.
Wonderful.
Looks like we might have some more results.
Looks like we do have quite a few results coming in from throughout the county. Well, I want to thank you both for coming on air. I really appreciate it and appreciate all the work that you do for Rutland City and for running. I don't want a premature congratulations, but exciting to know things are heading in the right direction. So thank you both.
Thanks to everyone at PEG TV for making this possible.
Yeah. Thank you to PEG TV.
We're going to take another brief break as some more results are trickling in, and we'll be back in a moment. Welcome back, everyone. We have some results that have come in throughout the county now, as opposed to some of the ones that are from the city. So we have Proctor here. For moderator 1 year, we have Andrew Mass. Select Board 3 year, Jason Thornton. Select Board 2 year, Albert Wenta. QV School Director for a 3-year term, Lisa Meisner. Town Treasurer, 3 years, Celia Lasanti. And Town Clerk for 3 years, Celia Lasante. We'll head over to Wallingford, where everyone ran unopposed. So for the Select Board, we have Carol Bredent. I apologize for that. Kathy Luditzer. Karen Smith. Maureen Duchesne. Jill Stone Tier for Treasurer. Jill Stone Tier for Town Clerk. Trustee of Public Funds, Ann Iwad. Trustee of Public Funds, John T. Rauch. Delinquent Tax Collector, Julie M. Sharon. Moderator, Tammy A. Heffernan. And Mill River Unified Union School District Director, David Cornwell. For the articles, we have Article 2, shall the town vote to have scholarships provided at the Mill River Unified Union School District? We had 232 yeses to 34 noes. For Article 3, shall the town vote to have 1/2 of the fiscal year property taxes and fire paid to the town treasurer on or before October 20th? We have 273 yeses to 15 noes. The general operating budget, Article 4, 238 yeses to 59 noes. The highway department budget, sand budget, Article 5, 227 yeses to 62 noes. And the Town of Wallingford approved raising a sum in property taxes for the creation of a 3D replica of the Boy with a Boot statue for the Main Street Fountain. 200 yeses to 87 noes. That's a bit of an interesting article. And then we have our Middletown Springs, is this Middletown? Middletown Springs budget, Middletown Springs results that have come in as well. Where no one had run, they had all run unopposed, with Andrew Hayes winning town moderator, select board seat, Robin Chestnut Taninger, select board, Chris Fenton and Robert McMahon, Lister Randolph Niffen, auditor, Tracy Weatherhog, auditor seat 2, Meredith Morgan, planning commission, seat 1, Holly Cronin, planning commission, seat 2, 18 write-in votes. For library trustee, we have Bree Gunter. For library trustee, seat 2, Tanya Humphreys. For trustee Copeland Church Fund, Rita Hansen. For trustee Copeland Cemetery Fund, write-in, 13 votes. For trustee Lois Fund and other public monies, we have 10 write-in votes. For seat 1, for seat 2, there are 13 write-in votes. For Article 2, the town auditor report, approved, yes, 22 votes, no, 6. And the general budget, Article 3, 188 yeses to 41 noes. For the care and maintenance of highways in Middletown Springs, we have 187 yes to that budget item and 41 noes. For the Tax Stabilization Reserve Fund, we have 203 yeses to 25 noes, that is Article 5. And for Article 6, the Select Board to fund the reserve fund for town municipal facilities, we have 201 yeses to 27 noes. And then Article 7, additional $10,000 for Middletown Springs Public Library, 153 yeses to 74 noes. Article 8, the voters of Middletown Springs to exempt from property taxes for a period of 5 years, property which is located in Firehouse Lane. This is a yes, 189, 39 noes. And funds allocated to the Middletown Springs Volunteer Fire Department, 191 yeses to 38 noes. I have with me this evening guest Tom Donahghue, a write-in candidate for mayor, who was the previous host before myself.
Yes,
Tom,
right, exactly.
thank you for
Yeah.
being on. I
No,
appreciate having you.
listen, I'm glad that I was able to step up to run for mayor. I'm glad that you were able to step up to sit in that chair right there, Tom. So
Thank you, thank you.
appreciate that, because it's a really, really important service that PEG TV and Community Access provides to get these results out, not just the city, but the county, is very, very important these days. People want to know. People are good enough to go out and vote, and they like to know, if their ballot items and if their choice of candidates and so forth have been selected accordingly. And some people don't want to wake up to it. They'd rather know tonight, and PEG TV provides that opportunity. So thank you for stepping up yourself to take the chair here.
I appreciate that, yes. It's an incredible resource.
Well, and live television is difficult, so.
It is a little different, yeah. I'll say that, yes, for sure.
So anyway, thank you, Tom. I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Happy to be on the program right now, and really, really excited to be a candidate for mayor. I can now say that we are technically all the polls closed, so it's safe to talk about. Just awaiting results, as that was a write-in campaign, and we worked real hard. I have to give a shout out to my wife, Gail Donahghue, who was at my side the whole time. We campaigned together. We kind of made a decision right away that it was an opportune time for me to be a candidate because of the background that I have. I really believe in the opportunity for economic development for the city right now, and that with my background in that, a substantial background in my history, that I was the right person at the right time. And that's why we made a fairly swift decision to just jump in and go. And we've been going since January 30th to March 3rd. So that's how fast we decided, after consulting a number of people. And we've been working real hard ever since. So I do appreciate that Gail has been by my side the whole time, because it's more fun to campaign together, I can tell you that much. And it's been a blast out there campaigning. I've listened to a lot of people. I've been a lot of places and communicated in a lot of ways. If elected this evening, I plan on doing much of the same. So some things will change. One of the ways that I plan on doing that, if elected, is to communicate with the public. So we're going to establish some ways that we're going to communicate regularly, so that people have an understanding of what's going on, and less speculation, frankly, because we'll be able to communicate what we're doing out there and some of the detail around that. And by the same token, we're going to be celebrating wins. So as one of the things that I had said I would be anxious to do in the next year, not 2, 3, 4, or 5 years. It's good to have a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, a vision. But what we need is some wins for Rutland this year. So what we're going to do is take a page out of NASCAR's book, and when we get some wins, they don't put the car on the hauler and go to the next track. What do? They take about 3 victory laps before they even go into victory lane and celebrate. And Rutland is ready to celebrate. We're at a point where we're just ready for some real positive feelings about where we're headed as a community. And right now, I know for a fact, the eyes of the state are on us too. And I believe probably a little bit of Washington as well. They're waiting to see if Rutland's really going to pull the lever and get going. What I'm saying is, this is the Rutland train. We're leaving the station, all aboard. And I'm excited about that message. So I'm hoping that resonated well with our electorate. I believe that people felt the enthusiasm and the energy that we bring, and know what my qualifications are, and that I can actually have done much of this in my past, so the idea would be to do it again, and so I think that this is an opportune moment, that we don't have a year to do this. We have a year to do it, not a year from now to get started with it. Because I think we're at that point where, a tipping point right now, where Rutland has a lot of things going for it, but a lot of things working against us too. The crime rate last year was just too high. Too many calls for a police department. We're already, as an alderman, I was able to work on what I like to call it proactive policing, and so does the PD, but they also call it directed patrols. And they do an amazing job of analyzing the crime statistics in Rutland by a 2-week snapshot every 2 weeks. And then I attend those meetings at the police department. I've done that for the last year. So I'm seeing the same data, Tom, that everyone else is seeing in the police department. So I know how they're analyzing it, collecting it, and then breaking it down to really determining exactly where the hot spots are, where are the multiple calls coming from, the multiple people or the same people. They can even boil it down to days of the month, weeks of the month, time of the day. As one example, the highest numbers used to be when I was younger, a lot of things happened after dark. So, it was more troublesome in the night shift in the police department. Not so much anymore. The day shift is busier now than the night shift in that respect. Now, all shifts are pretty busy, I'm sorry to say, with 17,000 calls last year. More than 17, actually, in excess of 17. But already the statistics coming out January and February are seeing a decline in those numbers now that we've added some police to the force. And I don't call them extra police officers, they're additional officers, but they're still getting us up to the numbers we used to be at, which was around 41 back when I was an alderman the first time around. We got as low as about 25. Now we're pushing up towards 38 with the traffic police officer that's been hired as well through a grant. So we're getting where they have the additional officers to do now some proactive policing. And by the way, as soon as the weather breaks, they're going to have their bicycle patrols back out, and those have worked famously. So there are ways to target crime that will create a situation, a safer situation, and where the numbers start to immediately decline accordingly. And that's where we got to get to in this community. We need to have a reputation for public safety. As soon as we have that reputation for public safety, and we will again, people will be more apt to want to move here. We're looking at declining, the declining population. We want to reverse that. We want our population to grow accordingly. And in doing so, hand in hand with economic development. And the first tenet of my campaign was leadership. I love to lead, and I want to lead this. So what I want to lead? Public safety and economic development hand in hand. Why? Because economic development works in a couple of ways. With more people wanting to move here, live here, work here, that is exactly what businesses need as well. They need that. They need the workforce. And they are more willing to invest in your community. And we have some tremendous opportunities with economic development this year. Not just the hotel, but I'm talking about the fact that we have the tax increment financing district currently, and we're looking for a Tier 1A exemption for Act 250. That will give us, because we have the other ingredients necessary to achieve a Tier 1 exemption, that will give us a unlimited development outside of going through Act 250. Right now, we have that for smaller projects, but when you get to a certain size, 10 acres, 10 units, it kicks in Act 250. Now we would be able to do it all with our own local municipal planning, zoning, subdivisions. You also have to have water and sewer. We have tremendous capacity in our plant that we've invested in. We have the ingredients for this exemption, which will then allow housing development unlimited, commercial development unlimited, and industrial development unlimited for the purposes of having to go through the long, protracted, sometimes expensive, time-consuming process called Act 250. We'll have the local control on that. That's something we can achieve year one. We must achieve year one, so it'll open the door to a significant opportunity for more development that will be a calling card for us. We'll be able to utilize that to attract businesses. And believe me, avoiding Act 250 will be a real calling card. Yeah, having water and sewer available, real calling card, so on and so forth. But again, hand in hand with public safety, because you can't have a place that they don't feel safe and then expect to have business investment or employees or shoppers, for instance. Another great opportunity is, coming up, we're looking at the departure of Walmart. I support that at this point. They're going to build a supercenter somewhere. Right now, they're looking at the town of Rutland. We need to help them make that happen. It opens up great possibilities through Brixmor, the owner of the property, to replace that square footage of retail with additional new retail. So you'll have the supercenter and you'll have the downtown shopping plaza with new retail if we're able to go in that direction with Brixmor. So I've already talked to the vice president of Brixmor once, not too long ago, and he said, yes, we want to replace it with retail. I want that too, for a couple of reasons. One is we need more shopping opportunities in Rutland, and obviously the 1% option tax is a great revenue generator for us, well over $1 million a year right now, that helps with our bottom line. So all of this kind of circles back to that bottom line. Last year, the grand list, which is our tax base, the valuation of our tax base, shrunk. There was some influence in that in the state decision, but nevertheless, it declined. We need to grow the grand list, grow our tax base so that the tax burden on our homeowners and businesses is spread out further. Economic development does that. So that's why the leadership, the public safety, economic development, I want to lead that effort. I want to increase public safety and our reputation for public safety, and in doing so, aggressively pursue economic development, investment in our region. I don't want to look at the low-hanging fruit being an investor, a business person, man or woman that walks in the door. Of course, you're going to roll off the red carpet and say, have a seat. We're anxious to have you locate here in Rutland. Absolutely. But we should be out seeking them aggressively, not just waiting for them to knock on the door. That's the way we used to do it. We'll do it again.
Wow. Thank you. Wow. And I truly agree that really the success of the city, the economic success in particular, is the success of the entire county. And I think that does kind of spread out outside the city limits as well, and just makes a better community all around.
So Tom, thank you for saying that, because that's exactly why I've heard from many leaders around the county who are excited about this opportunity for Rutland. They were excited about my candidacy because they said that town, as the city goes, the surrounding towns go too. And I do believe they're right about that. It's a rising tide. So this will be good for Rutland County as well.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Wow, thank you so much, Tom, for coming on and sharing that.
Well, fingers crossed. We're waiting for results.
Yes, absolutely. And I wish you the best of luck.
Hopefully I'll get a crack at that. Otherwise, I've got to dial back the engines.
Well, I appreciate you stepping up and in such short notice, too, and putting together such a strong campaign.
Absolutely. Let's throw it through. And I do want to say, if I could, to the voters over on camera 4 over here, that I want to thank you. Win or lose tonight, this has been a special experience for me. I ran for alderman last year. We had a great time doing that. I was thrilled to be elected. But this time, stepping up to the mayor's office was even a bigger leap. And I just had tremendous feedback from people. I'm so appreciative of the support that I heard from you. It means so much to me. I can't even describe. Even if I weren't to be successful tonight, it was a tremendous experience. And I can never forget all the people who, with words of encouragement and support, and some good friends, by the way, that it'll just never be forgotten. So I just wanted to say that because it was powerful, and no matter what the results are tonight, I take it away as a win.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again for coming on. I really appreciate your time.
Tom, thank you. Right, appreciate you. Yep. Keep up the great work.
Thank you. Thank you. It looks like we have some results have just come in from some towns throughout the county. Let's see. So we have Chittenden, who has just arrived. For the auditor position, we have 14 write-in votes. For the second auditor position, we have 7 write-in votes. For the cemetery commissioner, we have Herbert Pelkey with 246 votes. Moderator, 42 write-in votes. For select board, 2 years, Dave Sargent, we have 247 votes. Select board for 3 years, we have Gary Congdon, 218 votes. For the budget, we have 246 yeses, 21 nos. For operating expenses, we have 217 yeses to 48 nos. That is Article 3. For the highway fund, expanding the highway fund, Article 4, 210 yeses to 58 nos. For the Chittenden Cemetery Commission, we have 222 yeses and 42 nos. For Article 6, for the Chittenden Public Library, we have 210 yeses to 55 nos. For the Chittenden Volunteer Fire Department, we have 243 yeses and 24 nos. For Article 8, for the Barstow Youth Club, we have 223 yeses to 44 nos. Article 9, for the auditor, we have 209 yeses and 48 nos. For Bridge and Culvert Reserve Fund, we have 231 yeses, 35 nos. Article 10. For Article 11, Social Services Agencies, we have 241 yeses, 26 nos. And then the second article, Part 2, Article 11, we have 237 yeses to 30 nos. And we're getting, I'm going to save this one for after we get through some of the towns, but we do have our final ward that has just arrived from Rutland City. So here in Mendon, the amended zone regulation to Article 9, we have 141 yeses to 28 nos. For the town moderator, we have Christopher Corsones, 170 votes. For the select board, Seth Bridge, we have 171 votes. Article 1, all articles have passed for the town of Mendon, except for Article 2, which is, shall the town vote to adopt all budget articles by Australian ballot pursuant to 17? That ballot passed. That article passed. Sorry, that article failed. That is the only article that failed, and all the other ones have passed. Looks like we have the town of Mount Holly as well. For town moderator, Andrew Tangier, 345 votes. For town clerk, we have Carol Garrell Woolley, 355 votes. For town treasurer, Elizabeth Carl, 332 votes. For selectman, Jeffrey Chase, 352 votes. For delinquent tax collector, Peter Perino, 328 votes. Trustee of public funds, Cheryl Leinhardt, 344 votes. For lister, we have Tiffany Austin with 168 votes. June Caprone with 155 votes. So Tiffany Austin has won that election for lister. For auditor, Lori Norton, 330 votes. Everyone else besides the lister election ran unopposed. And all article items have passed as well for the town of Mount Holly by a significant margin. And for school board, Stephen Mitchell, 286 votes, running unopposed. For school board, 2-year term, Beth Merrill, 280 votes. And for school board, 3-year term, Caitlin Benson, 286 votes, all unopposed. And we have Paulette as well. For town moderator, John Thrasher, 282 votes. For town clerk, Deborah Hawkins, 286 votes. For select board, there are 3 candidates. Tom Collard, 241 votes. James Sheldon Jr., 83 votes. And Jessica Van Ort, 203 votes. So Tom Collard and Jessica Van Ort have won those select board positions. For the additional select board position, Robert Jones, 257 votes. For treasurer, Julie Mock, 278 votes. For constable, Mark Guttel, 254 votes. Tax collector, Kim Ayers, 281 votes. Library trustee Phoebe McChesney and Amy B. Miller both ran unopposed, 238 votes to 220 votes. And school director Julie Mock, 268 votes. Once again, all articles for the town of Paulette have passed. And they have a fun little, what do you think most about Vermont maple election? And it looks like maple creamies is the #1 selected answer when people think of Vermont. That's a little fun part of the election. And we we have the 3rd ward now, the American Legion ward in the city. So we do have some results for the mayor write-in. These are not official, as well as the rest of them are not official, and the mayor's might take a little bit longer to calculate. So far we have, it says no final total, but 523 votes have been cast. For alderman, we have Alex Adams with 187 votes, Rick Baker with 174 votes, Barry Beauchamp with 193 votes, Marlo Beer, 21 votes, John P. Chaffee, 203 votes, Sharon Davis, 251 votes, Thomas DePoy, 194 votes, Kurt J. Esposito with 121 votes, Peter Franzoni, 276 votes, Alexandria Perrone, 172 votes, Anna Taddeo, 241 votes, Michael Talbot, 262 votes, and Matthew Whitcomb, 179 votes. Again, this is for Ward 3 in Rutland City. For school commissioner, Herbert Ogden, 274 votes. Jen Rondioni, 230 votes. Courtney Collins Whitcomb, 298 votes. For school commissioner write-in, 45 votes. School commissioner one-year term, 37 write-in votes. Clerk of elections, Anthony Tony Romeo Jr., 454 votes. First inspector of elections, 2-year term, Stephen A. Leach, 423 votes. Second inspector of elections, Denise Leach. Third inspector of elections, write-in, 38 votes. And again, the budget articles, we have the first article, which is for the city budget, 334 yeses to 208 noes. And for the second article, which is the school budget, we have 290 yeses to 266 noes. For the social services articles, for Brock, in support of Brock, we have 378 yeses to 174 noes. For the second article, supporting ARC Rutland, 414 votes to 133, 414 yeses to 133 noes. For Article 3, for the Vermont Center for Independent Living, 388 votes to 163 noes. For Article 4, the VNA, 423 yeses to 132 noes. For Article 5, the Retired Senior Volunteer Program and Southwest Vermont Council, 374 yeses to 171 noes. For Article 6, for the bus, Marble Valley Regional Transit District's bus, we have 335 yeses to 214 noes. For Article 7, the Rutland Mental Health Services, we have 352 yeses to 200 noes. For Article 8, the News Story Center, we have 368 yeses to 180 noes. For Article 9, the Park Street Healthcare Rutland County Health Partners, we have 353 yeses to 194 noes. Article 10, the Vermont Adult Learning Center, we have 378 yeses to 171 noes. Article 11, The Rutland unit of the Boys and Girls Club, we have 371 yeses to 178 noes. Article 12, the Regional Ambulance Service, 389 yeses to 166 noes. Article 13, the Mentor Connection, 353 yeses to 199 noes. Article 14, for Wonder Feet Kid Museum, 322 yeses to 226 noes. And finally, the petitioned article in support of the Rutland Neighbors, Inc., 306 yeses to 241 noes. And those were the results from Ward 3. Again, not quite official. I did just receive our first preliminary result for the city for the write-in candidates for mayor, and this was from Ward 4, which is the Calvary Bible Church ward. We have Tom Donahghue with 305 votes and Dave Allaire with 290 votes. Close race. Are these official? Or... And now that all the 4 wards have come in, we can share the total amount of votes that have been received for the alderman campaigns. So Alexander Adams with 1,168 total votes in the city. Rick Baker with 911 votes in the city. Barry Beauchamp with 1,149 votes in the city. Marlo Beer with 151 votes. John P. Chaffee Jr., 897 votes. Sharon Davis, 1,519 votes. Thomas DePoy, 1,076 votes. Kurt J. Esposito, 511 votes. Peter Franzoni, 1,449 votes. Alexandria Perone, 960 votes. Anna Taddeo, 1,450 votes. Michael Talbot, 1,526 votes. And Matthew Whitcomb, 1,047 votes. So the top 5 candidates, or the top 5 aldermen, are Michael Talbot, Anna Taddeo, Peter G. Franzoni, Sharon Davis, and Alexander Adams. So those are the top 5 for the 5 open seats for the alderman election. For the school commissioner, the total votes, Herbert G. Ogden, 1,523 votes. Courtney Collins Whitcomb, 1,796 votes. And Jen Rondioni, 1,374 votes. So the winner is Courtney Collins Whitcomb. For the clerk of elections, Barbara Spalding received 523 total votes, running unopposed. For Ward 1, clerk of elections for Ward 3, Tony Romeo Jr., 454 votes, running unopposed. For Ward 2, Beth Kernan, 857 votes. And Ward 4, Steve Reynolds, 604 votes. For first inspector, Ward 1, Gary Spalding, 494 votes. For Ward 2, Thomas Carpenter, 827 votes. For Ward 3, Stephen A. Leach, 423 votes. For first inspector in Ward 4, Judith Delfa, 656 votes. All ran unopposed. For second inspector, Ward 1 we have no results from Ward 1. For Ward 2, Cynthia Sinos, 791 votes, ran unopposed. For second inspector for Ward 3, Denise Leach, 420 votes. For second inspector for Ward 4, Angela Rivers, 609 votes. For third inspector for Ward 1, we also do not have those results yet. For third inspector for Ward 2, 785 votes for Becky Bogus. For Ward 3, we do not have the results yet. and Ward 4, we also do not have the results yet. The budget article passes with 190, or for 1,931 yeses. Budget Article 2 for the school budget passes with 1,688 votes to 1,520 votes no. And I just read the social services articles, so I don't want to read them all again, but it appears from the results that we currently have, all have passed. And this is the numbers up to this point that we have for the city elections. And let's see. Looks like the mayor's race is going to be a tight one. The only results we have from Ward 4 so far have a margin of only 15 votes difference between Tom Donahghue and David Allaire. And those are the only results we currently have at this time for the mayor elections. We may be waiting until tomorrow for those results, more than likely. And keep in mind that these are not entirely official, but up to this point, many of the votes have been counted. As I wait for some more results, I'm going to take a brief break, and I'll be back shortly. Welcome back, everyone. We have some exciting results that just came in from 3 of the 4 wards on the write-in candidate for mayor. So at this time, with just the 3 wards, 1, 3, and 4, we have Tom Donahghue in the lead with 871 votes, and Dave Allaire with 631 votes. These are unofficial at this time, but we do have the 3 wards counted so far. I will keep you updated as soon as we get Ward 2 if that does come in this evening. In the meantime, we do have some other results from around the county. We'll start with Wells. For town moderator, we have Francis Gilman with 138 votes. Select Board, Julia Canada, 125 votes. Library Trustee, Mary Beth Harrison, 142 votes. Planning Commission, Heather Thomas with 122 votes. Planning Commission, Douglas Schaleffer, 124 votes. All ran unopposed. And for all the articles, the town articles, all have passed. And this is for the town of Wells. We also have the results that have come in for Brandon. For the Trustee of Public Funds, we have 395 write-in votes. Trustee of Public Funds, 1-year term, 341 write-in votes. Town Moderator, write-in votes. Select Board, Brian Coolidge, 624 votes with 20 write-ins. Brian ran unopposed. For Select Board, Jeff Halen, 561 votes. Cecil Renish Smith, 584 votes, and 37 write-in votes. Select 2, and those 2 ran unopposed. For Town Clerk, we have Sue Gage, 757 total votes. Town Treasurer, Sue Gage, 746 votes. Faith Daya, 550 votes. And all articles in Brandon, double check, all articles in Brandon have passed. For the town of Ira, we have School Director, Philip Lapp. School Moderator, Mary Richhammer. Auditor, 3-year term, Christine Tominski. Auditor, 2-year term, no declared winner yet. Delinquent Tax Collector, 1-year term, Deborah Perry. Lister for a 3-year term, Janine Peterson. Lister for 1 year, no declared winner at this time. Town Moderator, we have a 1-year term, Mary Richhammer. Select Board, 3-year, Nathan Hewitt. First Constable, Francis Lloyd. All budgets and articles have passed for the town of Ira. So we're still waiting on a couple results in the town of Ira. We likely will not have them this evening. And now the exciting part. We now have all 4 wards counted, and they are still unofficial for the write-in vote for the mayor. So we have Tom Donahghue with 1,323 votes, and Dave Allaire with 999 votes. These results are unofficial at this time, but it looks like Tom Donahghue is in the lead by about 324 votes. I'll keep that on the side in case we get an update, but that's where those numbers are at this time. They will not be official likely until this evening or tomorrow. So for the town of Clarendon, for moderator, we have Rich Clark, 343 votes. For town clerk, we have Gloria Menard, 355 votes. Town treasurer, Heidi Congdon, 347 votes. For select board, Michael Klopchen, 312 votes. For Select Board, Cash Ruane, 315 votes. For Lister, Matt Jubikowski, 335 votes. Auditor, Kevin Daughtry, 331 votes. Rich Clark, for Director to Mill River Unified Union, 320 votes. And for Director to Mill River Unified, Dave Potter with 148 votes. And Matthew J. Ringer with 217 votes. So all of those ran unopposed except for the Director to Mill River Unified Union. And Matthew Ringer won that election. In the town of Clarendon, it looks like all articles and budget items have passed. We also have the results for Fairhaven. For moderator, looks like only a write-in candidate, and we don't have any of those results yet. For second constable, we have Sean Galvin, 452 votes. For select board member, Keith Heer, Samuel Lucci, both ran unopposed. Select board member, Jonathan Brusso, 163 votes, and Dennis Reed, 303 votes. Dennis Reed won that election. For town treasurer, Sharon Adams, 471 votes. For Lister, Peter Laramie, 465 votes. For trustee of public funds, Maureen Hall, 464 votes. And the two town auditor positions, write-in, we do not have those results. And for 2 of the 3 library trustees, we have they're write-in votes, and we do not have those results. And then Cecilia Hunt, library trustee, 464 votes, ran unopposed. And the articles and budget items in Fairhaven have all passed except for Article 12, which is providing support to Brock Community Action in Southwest Vermont. That article was voted against, and with a margin of 267 votes no to 264 votes yes. Wow, it's about as close as it can get. Really shows that every vote does count and that every vote does matter. Looks like we're getting a lot of the towns in right now. So we have Hubbardton that just arrived. For selectmen, Dwayne Gibbs had 81 votes, and Catherine Stills had 37 votes. So Dwayne Gibbs is the unofficial winner. For selectmen, vote no more than 2. Jim Casey with 86 votes. Richard Grabowski, 90 votes. For cemetery commissioner, Alicia Carlson, 116 votes. For moderator, Dawn Custard, 26 votes. We do not have the results for the delinquent tax collector. And these are the results from Hubbardton. Let's see. Which one do we have? So for the town of Shrewsbury, all officials ran unopposed. And for the 2 positions for which no one ran, no individual received sufficient number of votes to be elected. And all the budget articles passed, as did the tax budget. We do not have the results from Shrewsbury for the school district at this point. And we have the Rutland Town results that have arrived. For select person, Kurt Hathaway, 657 votes. For select person, Mary Ashcroft, 667 votes. For town clerk, Carrie Clark, 700 votes. For town treasurer, Carrie Clark, 690 votes. For moderator, grand juror, and grand juror, there were no candidates, so they just have the write-in results, and we just have write-ins, and there are no results for that currently. For First Constable, Mike Delhanty, 660 votes. Dakota Harvey for Cemetery Commissioner, 672 votes. For Cemetery Commissioner, Kurt Hathaway, 662 votes. For Lister, Marcia Chiaffi, 624 votes. For School Director, Tim Hammond, 643 votes. For School Director, Colin Fingham, 607 votes. And for the town articles and budget items, it's looking like all have passed by a significant margin. And this is for the town of Rutland results. These are unofficial. For anybody who might have missed it, I'll go back to the write-in campaign for mayor. It's a close race. We have all 4 awards that have been reported up to this point. Tom Donahghue had 1,323 votes, and Dave Allaire had 999 votes. These are unofficial numbers, but these are as up-to-date as we have at this time. We likely will not have the official results until this evening, but these are the 2 that are in the lead, and Tom Donahghue is the lead by about 324 votes. I'll leave that to the side and come back to it, because that's what I think a lot of people are waiting for. We do have Danby that just arrived. I'm going to come back to Danby because it looks like everyone in Danby has run unopposed. And it doesn't look like we have the official numbers for the ones that only had write-ins, but everyone ran up unopposed, and this is for the town of Danby. And it looks like all the articles and budgets have passed in Danby. This is for the town of Danby. And it looks like we have unofficial results from town of West Rutland. That's my town. We have town moderator. We have Michael Moser, 213 votes. For select persons, we have Chester Brown, 218 votes. For select persons, we have David Webster with 208 votes and Robert O. Bach with 180 votes. For Lister, there were only write-ins for both options, and we do not have those results at this time. For Quarry Valley School Director, Michael Moser, 202 votes. And it's looking like the 2 budget items have passed. And the articles have also passed as well, again by a pretty significant margin. And this is for the town of West Rutland. Now that we have a little bit more updated information on the mayor campaign, I'm going to go back and reread the alderman results. The top 5 aldermen that received the most votes were Michael Talbot, Anna Taddeo, Peter Franzoni, Sharon Davis, and Alex Adams. All 4 awards are in for the alderman campaign as well. And again, not official, but these are the most updated results that we have currently. For the school commissioner, we have Courtney Collins Whitcomb with 1,796 votes, Herbert Ogden with 1,523 votes, and Jen Rondioni, 1,374 votes. That is for the school commissioner in Rutland City. For the budget articles, Article 1, this is the city budget. 1,931 yes votes with 1,166 noes. So that budget item has passed. Budget Article 2, which is the school board, 1,688 votes to 1,520 votes. So that has passed as well. All other articles in the city have passed as well. So wait for some more results. We're going to take another brief break. Thank you. Welcome back, everyone. As we're wrapping up this evening, I would like to go through just the alderman elections results and the mayor election write-in campaign results as well. For mayor, we have all 4 wards reporting. Tom Donahghue with 1,323 votes, and Dave Allaire with 999 votes. And for alderman, the top 5 candidates to fill the 5 seats out of the 13 candidates, we have Alex Adams, 1,168 votes. We have Peter Franzoni with 1,449 votes. We have Sharon Davis with 1,519 votes. We have Anna Taddeo, 1,450 votes. And we have Michael Talbot with 1,526 votes. Those are the 5 candidates in the lead at this time. While the results are not completely official, these are the most up-to-date information that we have. One last time, Tom Donahghue, 1,323 votes, with Dave Allaire, 999 votes. I want to thank you all for tuning in this evening. I really appreciate your time on air and sharing the results with you. I want to thank you for getting out and voting. Our votes truly do matter, especially in these local elections. I want to thank you for tuning into PEG TV. I'd like to thank the candidates for their efforts and the amount of time that goes in to running, and I look forward to seeing you for our next election cycle. Thank you so much, and have a great night.